Betty Smith with Scioto County Daily News, and I've got the pleasure of interviewing both Benny and Maggie with the Welcoming Community Center of Christ. Boy, I got that right. What I would like to start out with, and either one of you, jump in wherever you feel necessary. You're in a new building, so we want to let people know that. And then the second thing is, if you guys want to give us a little bit about yourself, or what we can get out there to the citizens that, where they do feel welcome to come into and be a part of the Christ community.
Sure. Well, I'm Benny, and I'm one of the pastors here at the Portsmouth Welcoming Community, and we are a Community of Christ congregation that is inclusive and affirming of the LGBTQ community, okay. Which is a little unusual for this area. Normally you find congregations of that nature in larger cities. So we are one of the first ones in this area that is accepting. I happen to be gay, and I'm ordained. And we want people to know that we are a welcoming community, meaning that primarily our ministry is to the LGBTQ plus community, but also to everyone. Our mission statement, if it's okay if I read that.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Our mission statement says, for those seeking a spiritual home, the Portsmouth Welcoming Community is committed to the inclusion of persons of all sexual orientations, gender expressions, socioeconomic status, race, origin, religious or non-religious background, and physical and mental condition. And then Community of Christ has, we have these things called the enduring principles. Mm-hmm. And the enduring principles speak of, for an example, everyone has worth. Every person has worth. Right. Everyone, that nature is sacred. So the enduring principles, we believe that it's part of Christ's mission. So our mission statement goes on to say, the enduring principles of Community of Christ recognize the worth of all persons, and therefore we commit to actively work for the nonviolent transformation modeled by Jesus' life on earth. In community, we seek to learn and grow in ways that might bring wholeness and peace to our fragmented and violent world. So that's our mission.
Yeah.
One of the things I would like to say is, although we do primarily reach out to the queer community, we also reach out to allies. We have a lot of families that we have within our congregation as well. And we are very inclusive of people from different spiritual backgrounds. We are trying to build a bridge between people of different backgrounds that before haven't felt welcome in a church building, or they felt like they've been cast aside, or felt like they needed to live by a certain dogma and they've been hurt by a church. We have a lot of people that have felt before like they could not be part of a spiritual community, and now they've been able to find a spiritual community and make a family. It's kind of find your tribe and love them hard kind of thing.
I think kind of like behind the scenes you said about being like the misfit.
Yes,
toys.
we're kind of like the Isle of Misfit Toys. Everybody is, a little bit broken, but together we can like help heal those wounds. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I love about Jesus's message is loving each other. Mm-hmm. And Jesus tried to be that healing salve. And that's kind of what we want to do. We want to try to heal those broken places in people and you can help do that by coming together, and we want to help do that for our whole community and not just the people that walk through our doors.
Right.
And besides
A place of belonging.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
and besides our religious side, we also on Thursday evenings have coffee and conversation, and that is a non-religious event. And we have that at 6 p.m. on Thursdays, and that is to get together. We have coffee, hot tea, and we sit around and we talk about social justice issues. We talk about community issues, what we can do within our community to bring our community together and fix it and lift it up. Poverty.
There's all these parts,
and
there's
yes, we've got all this poverty. We've got these social economic problems in our area, the drug epidemic. We've just got so many different issues, and we just bring people in, and again, we're like a family, and everyone is welcome to come, and we talk about our joys and our concerns during the week, and we build bonds and we build bridges. And again, it's non-religious.
That's kind of therapy in itself.
It is.
I mean, I will say that, yeah.
Definitely.
Because a lot of times, and I'm just going to kind of chime in here, just people in general just want that outreach, and this is another part of that. Not everybody's going to form to the same needs or wants, or so we all have our, and I liked how you guys said that earlier, self-worth. So, and that's crucial. We try to instill that, especially myself. I've worked with a lot of younger adults, and first thing you say is self-worth. I don't care where you go to in this life, but keep that self-worth to push forward. Because I think people lose that, and then everything else just kind of falls to the wayside.
Yes.
So, but that's kind of, I really did like to hear about, and you said it's Thursday nights.
Thursday nights at 6.
And everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome. Yep.
Right. And you're not in here to preach or put
No,
somebody in the
no.
corner. I have to say, the stereotype is, what are you going to,
No, absolutely not. And one thing, if you're watching this video, you can kind of see we don't have pews. We don't have a pulpit. Even our Sunday evening service, it is not church as usual. Actually, our Sunday evening church is called Unchurched, Transforming Faith Through Love.
Oh, okay.
So everything we do is pretty non-traditional.
What would you say, I'm just kind of throwing, for seating, how many people do you think you can seat as of right now?
Oh, wow. We've had, when we had our dedication, we had about 60 people.
About 60.
That's good. Good.
Yeah, we can squeeze in. And when we did that, we're like, oh wow, are we outgrowing our space already?
Right.
But yeah, we can get a lot of people in here, and we do so many different things, because a lot of times we don't use the tables. A lot of times we'll just have the chairs. As you know, we have a couch over on the other side.
Yeah.
We can do like bean bags. We can do just sitting around in a circle. We just have
make it a very comfortable setting.
Yes, we have all these different things. Like I said, very non-traditional, and most of our services all revolve around dialogue.
Okay.
Because we truly believe that you can have everybody's walk with God is just as important, whether it's through a minister or through their own self.
Yeah, right.
Well, and and the biggest thing, because I was raised in church myself, but I think one thing it sounds like you guys try to push is the relationship part.
Yes.
Because we all think just a congregation, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's fine, everybody's gonna
absolutely.
join.
Yeah, everybody.
But just having that your personal journey.
Yeah.
Because and I'm not trying to preach to anybody else. I'm not trying to
Not
do that.
proselytizing.
No.
Just being a part of how I was raised. You just want to have that self-worth. You want to have that your own personal relationship. And go from there. And then it's good that when you can get together people that you feel comfortable with. That's a big challenge sometimes.
Oh yeah. And we've had folks that have come to us, like we have support groups. So we have an LGBTQ adult support group. We have a transgender support group, and we have some other things in the works. Like for example, I'm hoping to start a like a support group for people with HIV. Because even though there is so much education out there about HIV and AIDS, there's still a stigma attached to it, and people still have this stigma in their mind. And people living with HIV feel like maybe they don't belong. And that's one of the things that our community, as Maggie said, is trying to let everybody know that they do belong. And we've had people come just for the support groups, and then slowly they started kind of mingling into the coffee and conversation evenings, and then they started mingling into the worship services.
Right.
And it's because, and we are not downing any other faith or any other denomination or anything, but some people have felt, as Maggie said, shunned or made to feel less than for whatever reason. It could be because of their sexual orientation, their gender identity, how much money they have or don't have. And we don't want people to feel that way. So we want everyone to feel welcomed when they come here and just feel at home, like they're at home. And if in the midst of that, if they begin to, we want them to build a relationship with us, and we become like a family to them. And maybe in the midst of that, then maybe they will find and build a relationship with their Creator.
Right.
And I think that by not having pews and not having some of the traditional church imagery, it kind of makes them feel, whoa, this is kind of, we're at home.
Yeah, a little more comfortable, relaxed, yes.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping for.
So a couple things moving forward. Do you guys got any major events coming up or anything that you want to share?
On February 15th, we are hosting a Valentine's Day party.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have like a little bit of music. We're going to have karaoke. We're going to have, cupcakes and punch and stuff like that, and that's open to everybody to come and share and just, enjoy that. We do have in June 27th, we do host the Portsmouth Pride event, which is going to be at Tracy Park again. This will be our third year.
Third year.
Okay.
The first year we had about 400 people. Second year, this past year, we had almost 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we're hoping that we'll have a much more turnout. And it's family friendly. It is not. It is not like.
It's not wild.
It's not wild. It is not like you.
Don't want to scare nobody.
Yeah,
No.
it's not like what you see on like in bigger cities. It is completely family friendly. Children and youth are it's safe for them to come, and it's really about love. Like behind us, we have this little banner that says "Love is our religion."
That at the end,
And that's really what we're about. We want people to feel God's love. That God's love is unconditional and God's love is everlasting, and we just want people to know that they're loved.
Right.
Absolutely. And I again want to stress, the fact that it is family friendly. I'm a mom of 3, and that's and that's so important to me. It's a little hard, like if I wanted to take my kids to like the bigger city functions, and people do get concerned about some of the things that may be going on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we've been able to build something that we can feel safe about bringing our kids, and they can run and play, and we usually have like a time where the stage can be open and we have like music playing, and the kids can go up on stage and dance, and they love
I
it.
like Tracy Park.
And we have, and one of the things that we always make sure we do is we try to section our vendors in a way that we kind of have the inside enclosed. And that also helps us have kind of an eye so that if there's little kids, that they're not out close to the street.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know that's kind of a small thing, but that's one of the things that we've really kind of tried to think about, because, you know, if people enjoying themselves and if there's little kids and they might dart.
Right.
So like we really do stress about trying to take care of our babies.
Center of the park.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing unless you guys want to add anything to this, but so I know we're at a time where we're going to be talking to a lot of politicians. There's an election coming up. You as this community, and again, you're already telling us you're outreaching. You're trying to. Is there anything that you'd want to get out there to stress that where you think that should make a difference with what's going on in our community right now? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things that is happening, we had our Justin DeLong. Maggie and I are the pastors now. Justin is a part of the leadership team, but Justin is now focusing more on an ordinance that he is trying to get passed here in Portsmouth, Ohio, concerning, there's been a movement in the country, people speaking about giving people the opportunity, or the ability, I should say, not the opportunity, but the ability to withhold housing or fire or withhold employment to people who identify in the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with their job performance. It has everything to do with being able to fire someone because they identify or withhold housing. And
I see what you're saying, kind of like a discrimination type.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we are totally against that, because what does that have to do with them being able to have a job or being able to live in a house or an apartment?
Right.
And we want people to we want to promote love and acceptance, and everybody has different walks of life. Everybody has different, I mean, I don't know how many denominations, and they all believe similarly or differently.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about love.
Yeah.
And people need to be able to have a house or an apartment, or people need to have a job to make a living. And it shouldn't be based on the color of their skin or their sex or who they love, or their religion.
And a lot of times no one's mindful of those underlying issues. I mean, we could walk, and I say this jokingly because, you know, you can just go through your day, and like you say, you've got 3 kids, I've got a grandson, I take care of some, and I tell people this, and you're just followed up on that day, and you don't think of all the other things that may happen around you. I mean, you could be a good-hearted person and think, oh, the whole world is peaches and cream, and it's not.
Right.
And you have to have people out there that have to notice those things and fight for those things,
right?
To make it equal for everybody.
Well, that's it. It's really hard sometimes to realize like what kind of privilege we have when we walk through our day-to-day lives and not realize that there are people out there that are being marginalized for things that may seem crazy to us. We may be like, really? Like
right. Or some things we see in the news and we're like, that really just happened?
Yeah. Why? Like that's a great why that's a great person, you know, why are you firing them for that, or what, you know, what have you? And it may seem crazy to us, but you know, I just want to say get out there and get knowledgeable about the different issues that are coming up as we go into our voting season. I know we're early in the year, but it's never too soon to start, you know, getting an idea of what kind of things may come up on your ballots this November, and get registered to vote.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know when we had our last election, Scioto County had very low voter turnout. Yes. And we have a huge amount of untapped voters in our county.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, get out there and get registered to vote. It's very simple. You can do it online. It takes 5 minutes.
I'm a person that feels that your vote locally is so much. I'm not saying the bigger administration is not important, but I feel whoever's in your backyard and who's fixing your potholes, that's where your vote's going to really count. And we've said we did the election back in November. I was very happy to be a part of that. We did live coverage, and I'm assuming we plan on doing the same thing again. But just like what you guys are talking about and this issue that may come up, these things have to get out there, and our electives need to be aware of these things too, because they're serving all the community, not just one area. So, and that's why, well,
and that's just like the worth of all persons. It's your vote matters, your voice matters, and if everybody gets out there and lets their voice be heard, then you're being a part of society, and especially our marginalized people in society. Their voices are stereotypically not being heard. Those are the people that are less likely to be registered voters. So if everybody can say, hey, neighbor across the street, are you registered to vote? Like, can I help you? Can I help drive you to the voting booth?
Let's make it a voters party.
Yes, exactly. Let's bake cookies and go vote. So,
and to put this out there, because a lot of times, even when I talk to whether you're elected, whether you're a politician, yes, I vote. I make that very clear. I'm not just giving an opinion. I want to research the backgrounds and know what's going on. Now, I might not be the wisest one in the bunch. Because I know a lot of times people feel intimidated by that too. Well, I didn't read up on those issues. The information is there. Take some time and go through it. And
Google it.
Or listen to Southern County Daily News. They got a whole bunch of stuff out there. I do want to thank Mark Craycraft and his team for getting us out here today. And Justin,
thank you.
I wish that we could have got an opportunity to talk to you as well. But you got me two great people here to sit down with, Benny and Maggie. And so hopefully we get to see more good things coming from them, from their church community. And last thing I want to quote on that, because I was under the impression or told that there's 150 plus churches in the Sauter County area.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a lot of churches. With that being said, and I'm not trying to throw out no stigma or no stereotype, but raised in a church, we were raised to help with the community. And so you think in the back of your mind, whether politician, whatever you are, at the end of the day, you're out there as an outreach to help somebody else. And if you don't have those capabilities, that's okay too. There's other people that would help do that. But, definitely. So, and Benny, did you have any final thoughts?
I will say this, if you want to come out and see what we're about, you are more than welcome. As we said, we have a traditional service, a traditional worship service on the first Sunday of the month. And that's a morning service. It's at 11 a.m. And then our unchurch, as Maggie spoke about, is on every Sunday at 6 p.m. And before that, at 5, we have a Sunday school class. Right now, it's an adult Sunday school class. But we are moving in the direction of having a youth Sunday school class while that's going on. We just don't have it in place yet. So we have that going on. So at 5 o'clock, Sunday school. At 6 o'clock in the evening, church.
And that's kind of nice to have that last, at the end of the day.
And I just want to say that we do have an adult LGBTQ plus support group once a month, and we have a transgender / non-binary, gender fluid support group. These are both peer-to-peer. They are not religious based, and they are also safe spaces, and nothing that is said leaves the room. And those happen once a month, and information as they come available is on our Facebook page, and you can also PM us on our Facebook pages, either on our Pride page or on our Welcoming Community page. And if you have me on Facebook, you can always message me privately as well. I facilitate the transgender support page.
So, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the information to get out there, because again, it's about the resources too. So coming into the area and saying, where's this at, where's that at?
Yes.
Now we have a resource or an outlet to refer people to.
Right.
Yay!